They win tonight in Cleveland, 121-108. That's the scene across the street. Fans filing out of the watch party. And let's check in with Alex Monaco.
Thanks, Bill. Here with Kurt Thomas. Kurt, you were known during your playing days for defense and toughness, both on display tonight. What impressed you about those aspects?
They did whatever it takes. They would have dive on the floor, take charges, block shots, whatever it takes to get that win. That's what they showed tonight.
Very special energy in here at the watch party, Kurt. Your favorite part about being a part of it?
Just being out here with the fans. The fans just showing the love, showing how much they love the Knicks, and they're just doing whatever they can to help us get a win. That's what it's about.
10-game playoff win streak. We know it's at stake. Take me into the locker room and the mindset of the boys. One game from the NBA Finals.
We're right there. We up 3-0. Finish the job. Finish the job. That's the mindset right now.
Kurt Thomas said it. Finish the job. Back to you, Bill.
Knicks have a chance. Game 4 Monday night in Cleveland. Guys, Karl Anthony Towns in Game 2 only had 1 assist, but tonight, Wally, back to doing a great job facilitating, had 7 assists. Time for tonight's dime drop presented by Corona. Cat with 7 assists, some beauties.
Yeah, and the defense and rebounding, just anchoring the D, not hunting shots, not being selfish, even though he's a 6-7-time all-star, whatever it is. Look at these dimes.
How about the cutting off of that, though, right?
Well, he has such good ESP with Bridges and Anunoby that he can really facilitate pass. And to answer your question, what changed with Bridges, I think when the offense flipped and it became more Cat with the ball, more Josh Hart with the ball, not as much Jalen Brunson just handling the ball most of the game, that's when Bridges' game just exploded because Bridges can really cut. He's really smart at finishing those little floaters 5-10 feet from the basket. And as a result, like, these guys are just playing for each other and making each other better. But that's where I think Bridges' game was unlocked, when he was able to really be exploited with his cutting.
And one thing about Towns to talk about, along with, of course, the 13 to 8, 7 assists. How about the fact that he had 3 steals and a block? I mean, his defense is not talked about nearly enough. And I think defensively, the subtle things he's doing defensively stands out. That's a big front line. And they get a lot of layups. They get a lot of drives and kicks and stuff. He has to be involved defensively. And there were a couple of times where it looked like they were in the paint. He just got a little hand in there, got a deflection. 3 steals and a block for him. That's a huge addition to what he also brings to the game offensively.
You know it is, and I just think also the skill set is sometimes more important than the actual production. If you know you have Cat on the perimeter and you're pulling a Jared Allen, a Mobley, and you're creating that space, he doesn't have to make the shots to have created the space on the interior. You talked about the cutting, and the guys are inspired to cut when Cat has the ball because he's shown a willingness to pass, a willingness to be the facilitator up top. And so he doesn't have to make shots to essentially be at a huge advantage and create that spacing. And so I think you're seeing the 5-man who can shoot it. You have to have that to be a great team in this league.
So much.
Ton of spacing.
Yeah.
All right, guys, Monica McNutt helped call the game on the radio on ESPN New York. She now joins us from Cleveland. What's up, Monica? What are you thinking about?
What is up, y'all? This is just so much fun. I'm very giddy. Novak, to Novak's point that he was just making, we were talking about the same thing with Dan Grassa, Tyler, and I on the radio because we highlighted OG Anunoby coming back tonight, 6 of 10 from the field and 21 points. And I think that's exactly right. Even when you look at what Mikal Bridges has done, the way that the ball is moving, right? The level of focus that the guys are playing with. And let's be honest, as hoopers, you see the ball go in one time and you're going to get it back. You're feeling good. And so I'm just so impressed with the 27 assists from this group. Again, not quite a less than 100 performance, but keeping a team under 110 in this game, obviously under 100 in game 3. Like, y'all, the word on the interwebs with all the kids right now is flow state. As a collective, the team is in their flow state.
I like that. That's a word I'm going to have to write down and say to my kids and see if I sound cool. I won't, but I'm going to try it anyway, Mon. I want to know, though, speaking of sound, because there was so much talk about, you know, the Knicks fans traveling so well. You're in the arena. There was a lot of pregame chatter about Knicks fans infiltrating even as far as Cleveland. We heard it late in the game now. We did hear the Knicks fans, but what was the atmosphere like in that building? Because the Cavs sounded like they were very concerned about it before the game.
Well, it was not quite like a regular season game in some of the places that we call MSG South, but I will say in that third quarter in particular, there was some MVP chants. We heard a Knicks in 4 chant at one point. Now, the entertainment staff here at Rocket Arena is very clever. As soon as the Knicks fans got going, they put something on that would get their fans going, so it was a little bit of a duel, but definitely audible MVP chants, audible Knicks in 4 chants, and I even think we heard a Let's Go Knicks chant down the stretch as the Cavs fans were starting to leave the building.
Well, and Monica, as this game wrapped up, we kind of had a look outside of MSG. There were thousands of people pouring out from the watch party, and you just saw the energy that was here. But it seemed like we did an interview with the walk-off with Landry Shamet, and he seemed to still be very calm. At the end of the game, there wasn't a lot of jumping around or high-fiving. There still seems to be this calm in the eye of all the guys on the Knicks. All the fans, and all of us included, I think, are having an incredible time watching this team. But what is your sense just being close to the team, traveling with them, with their demeanor right now?
You know, our captain, Novi, is a guy who derives from the Kobe tree, right? Jalen Brunson wears Kobe Bryant's shoes. He's got his shoes at a young age. And in the famous words of the Mamba, the job's not done yet. And I think that's how this team is approaching it. I also would add, excuse me, that Mike Brown, as experienced as one of those head coaches on the team that has rattled off a double-digit consecutive win streak in the postseason, he has done an excellent job of warding off complacency or enthusiasm to the degree that you think that you have arrived. And I think this team, when you're hearing these guys post-game say, we got to play with urgency, we got to play like they're desperate, that they must be meditating on that, putting it in their sound machines when they take naps, because they really are coming out with the level of desperation that I think is so very impressive in terms of matching the moment.
Monica, Mikal Bridges is shooting 71% in this series, playing incredible basketball. What do you think the difference is from, earlier on in the playoffs and the regular season?
Wally, you tell me, bro, because what? Like, this young man, listen, I will say this. I think it goes back to how we started. If I can settle down, because everybody's being focused, I need to stay focused too. I think he's a guy that has been able to perform on the biggest stage of the season. And we know that confidence begets more confidence, right? And so each series now, he has shown up and continues to show up, and his teammates are looking for him. I think the wrinkles in the offense that we saw versus Atlanta and Philly unlocked him, because he's much better off the move than he is off the standstill in my mind. And now that these guys are casually putting up 27-assist games and everybody's sort of on the move, I thought tonight he had a few moves where he just kept his dribble alive and they hit him with a step back. I'm like, wait, who is that? But I'll take it. I love it. I just think these guys really, I don't know how to articulate it, y'all, other than them being in a flow state. And we hear about this when we watch The Last Dance or insert documentary on your favorite sports team. This is sort of what happens. They have put in the work to lay the foundation, and then ultimately you're able to perform based on that foundation.
May you maintain your flow state for the next couple of games, couple of days in Cleveland prior to Game 4 on Monday, okay? Get the meditation and the AirPods and let it roll, all right?
All that. Sounds good.
All right. Fans enjoyed themselves across the street.
What do you got, Steve? Let's roll.
Let's roll, baby. We're talking about our guy, Jalen Brunson, the plays that he was making. And I just think the beauty of allowing the plays to develop and finding the shooters and really keeping the spacing. And so it's so beautiful just to see. It's just beautiful to see the way that this team has continued to play with one another. But I know you want to look at a play here real quick.
Yes, and we're going to take a look at how Mikal Bridges is getting so wide open and shooting 71% in this series. It's because he's finding the cracks in the defense. Defense isn't set. They're all mismatched here. This is a great job. Freeze it here. Now look at Mikal Bridges here under the basket. And Karl Anthony Towns, with his vision, he sees through the defense. There's 3 guys around here. They're not communicating. They're all watching the ball. They're not seeing Bridges. He's finding the crack in the defense. And Towns is not afraid to throw some risky passes. This is a little bit of a risky pass. Nobody's paying attention, and he's getting layups. I mean, this is just easy basketball. His percentage is 71% because he got 5 layups in this game, a couple of them on the break and a couple of them off cuts off Karl Anthony Towns. He is just doing an outstanding job of moving without the basketball.
You know, and moving without the basketball and allowing the plays to develop, it really has been such a key. And when you've got a captain like Jalen Brunson on this play right here, keep an eye on that guy right there, Landry Fields. I'm sorry, Landry Shamet. That was my other teammate, Landry Fields. But as the play develops, and you're going to see Jalen right here cutting, driving to the left, keeping an eye right here on Landry Shamet. Watch the spacing as the play develops, and watch the pass that the captain makes. What a beautiful play right here to just draw two, keep the spacing, and look at the two cutters. You got Mikal Bridges cutting down the middle. You got Cat making the action down the middle, and a beautiful pass to Shamet, who had another beautiful game, knocking down threes, spacing the floor. And Jalen Brunson's willingness to share the ball, to be an assist guy at the same time as he is to be a threat to score, I think it was just huge in this series so far. Obviously, there's still one more to go, but the ball movement, the willingness to find guys and elevate the guys around him has been his greatest trait in this series.
No question.
And Bill, back to you.
All right, Steve, here's a play that kind of personifies what we were talking about after we show you the longest playoff win streaks in the same playoffs in franchise history. Knicks, obviously, 10 in a row, their longest winning streak during this regular season, 8 in a row. They've now won 10 in a row in the playoffs. And here's the ball movement with Cat doing a great job. He's going to find Karl Anthony Towns. Well, we'll talk about that later. Meantime, here's Mike Brown, his post-game comments presented by Chase.
Our guys played a good game.